I'm going to be talking to you about what I consider the best knot for fishing. And I'm going to be talking to you about Jack's knot, which I have some other videos on Jack's knot. And here I'm going to be using my deer hair mouse tied on a size 10 hook. It's a fly line. Now I've got some other videos showing this, so you might want to look at my videos, how to tie Jack's knot correctly. But just a refresher here, you put the tag behind the main line, you flip a loop over thumbnail to thumbnail, you don't tie the knot close to the fly or hook or whatever you're tying it with. You put the tag through the loop and trap the tag with your index finger, on your index finger with your middle finger, and then you set the knot below and let it slide down to the hook. And in regular line, it makes almost no friction going down. So that's a great advantage and allows you to tie the hook on a good ways from the fly or lure or whatever you're tying it on with. Now, some things about Jack's knot. How strong is Jack's knot, which is sometimes a question. There's a number of things that have said that I have stated that it is 100% knot. I really have never stated that. I want to say that Jack's knot is just a little bit under a trilene knot. I tied a trilene knot for years. I like the trilene knot. It's a very good knot. And I didn't like the results of the clinch knot very well, so I used trilene knot quite a bit. But Jack's knot is just a little bit under that, but it's strong enough to do the job. The best knot is not necessarily the strongest knot. It's the knot that's easy to tie. You can tie it in the dark or cold hands. It's going to be a knot that's good in all kinds of line, not just one line or 1 pound test the line. Jack's knot is good in fluorocarbon or mono, and it's as good in 2 pound tests as it is in 20 pound tests and anything in between. I've caught many large fish using Jack's knot, steelhead and salmon. I've used it with very light line. I've used it with heavy line. But I'm also going to show you some variations in Jack's knot, which is the title of this video. Now, the thing about, there's quite a bit of misinformation about the knot. One misinformation is how it's tied. So that's why I put a video on saying how to tie Jack's knot correctly. And I showed you the correct way here. There are a lot of videos showing it tied incorrectly. And another thing, numerous sources about the knot say that I stated it was 100% knot. I never did state that the line to line, or the hook knot rather, was a 100% knot. I was talking about my line to line knot. Now, if you want to see I'm going to tie it here. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but I'm going to demonstrate that it is stronger than the line. I'm going to use trilene big game 8 pound test to tie this. And you're not going to be able to follow this very well, but there's a video by Brad Matthews that goes back to 2008. He's showing me tying it in fly line. And I have some videos where I'm tying the knot with braid, fluorocarbon to braid, or mono to braid, and you can see those. I'm just going to tie it here just the way I would tie it, and I want to demonstrate how strong this knot is. All my knots are tied with a turned over loop, so you can see that. That's one thing about Jack's knots, and they're all tied with turnover loop. So if you look at my video, Jack's knot, paradigm shift in knot tying, you can get a little bit of a better idea about what I'm talking about here. So I've got this, there are the tags right there, so you can see it. And then I'm going to grab this line with forceps, and I'm going to break the line, and the knot's not going to break. I can break it several times. And the knot is not going to break. So I can almost say this is not just 100% knot, it's 110% knot. Does the same thing in fluorocarbon and other lines. right there. If you can see the tag, there. The line broke. There's the knot, right? See where the tags are? There's the knot. And I want to break it again. And I can continue breaking it, and the knot is slipped out of the forceps there, unfortunately. Get it a little bit closer and wind it a little bit more. I got it right here. There, good break. And there's the knot. You can see the tags right here. See if I can get those down where you can see them. Anyway, there. Right there's the knot. If I got enough line here, I'll break it again. But this is my line-to-line tippet knot or line-to-line knot, and I can say there's a good break. There's the knot still there, but you can hear it breaking. There's the knot right there. It doesn't break. So, and it's also good in fluorocarbon and so forth. So that's the one thing I wanted to clear up. When I'm talking about 100% knot, I'm not talking about the knot I tie hooks on with. I'm talking about my line-to-line knot. Now, about the strength of the Jack's knot in general, it's like this. It's just a little bit under the trilene knot, and the trilene knot is a great knot. It goes through the hook twice. My knot, you can go through the hook twice if you want to, but you can tie my knot in 5 seconds. And even if you have cold hands and you can't see very well, the trilene knot takes me about 30 to 35 seconds and uses quite a bit of tag to tie it. My knot uses very little tag. But a few years ago, Trilene had a tent put up outside where I work, and they had a knot testing machine. So I went there and asked to try my knot on the knot testing machine, and they were using 10-pound test Trilene. I tied my knot about 5 seconds, put it on the machine. It goes up and up and up and up, and it breaks at about 10.5. So it's breaking stronger than the test of the line, and the guy who's there said, "Oh, your knot failed." And I thought, it broke actually more than the pound test of the line. I asked, "Well, what is a trilene knot?" He gave me a paper showing me how to try a trilene knot, and I didn't know. I didn't need to have any instruction on tying a trilene knot because I'd tied it for years. And I asked, "Well, where does a trilene knot break?" And he said, "Well, sometimes it breaks the line, or it breaks about 11 pounds. Well, I thought that's strange. 10.5 pounds versus 11 pounds. And the ability to tie the knot so much quicker with so much less tag. Well, as time going on, I'm trying, all my knots are tied with these turned over loops. You know, like, here we go, the basic knot. Now I do some where I have double loops, and I have some knots where I actually stack the loop. I may do some videos on that later. But the principal variations of the knots I want to show you today, and they are stronger than the regular Jack's knot, but I still use the regular Jack's knot most of the time because it's just so quick and it gets the job done. But the first variation I'm going to show you is what I call Jack's knot 2.0. Okay, here's Jack's knot tied. You go around here, you go through the loop. Now 2.0, you go around and through the loop again, or you actually just go through the loop again. You don't have to go around the two lines below. So loop, around, that's Jack's knot 2.0. You just bring it through the loop again. Now actually that knot is stronger than a trilene knot. A trilene knot goes through the eye of the hook twice, this only once. And I've got some hooks already tied here. This one is a trilene knot. It's got the long tag on it. I'm going to grab it here. This is also using the trilene 8-pound test. Now one thing different lines and different knots vary. Now the way I test lines are like this. I'm going to put it together like this and I'm going to slam them apart. And there is the Jack's Knot 2.0 still tied to the hook. There it is, okay. And there's the trilene knot, and there's a little bit of residue left there, but it comes right off, see? The trilene knot broke, or we can say, as the gentleman told me, the trilene knot failed. The trilene knot's really a very good knot, so I'm not saying anything about that. Another variation is Jack's Knot 3.0, where you just make the loop and you go through the loop 3 to 5 times. Now somebody's probably saying that's a uniknot. No, it's not. It's stronger than a uniknot, and if you look at it, you'll see it's really not a uniknot. It just disappears there. A uniknot, you come around like this, and you go around so forth. This is made with the same loop up here. And so it's not the same as a uniknot. Again, it is stronger than a uniknot. That's Jack's Knot 3.0. Another thing, we'll go back to Jack's Knot 2.0, where you tie, let me do this quickly again. You tie Jack's Knot, loop around the 2 lines, trap, but this time you go through the loop again. That's 2.0. Okay, Knot Wars had a knot called the Fishing Fool knot that won Knot Wars some time ago. The Fishing Fool knot is a uniknot that goes through the eye of the hook twice, and it won Knot Wars. I've got these hooks tied. This one is tied with the Fishing Fool knot, and this one is tied with Jack's Knot 2.0, where I go through the hook twice with 2.0. Now, if I just went through the hook once, the Fishing Fool knot would win. This is the way I'm testing lines again. I'm putting them together like this. I'm going apart like that. Now there is the Fishing Fool knot. It broke. It's not there. Here's the Jack's Knot 2.0, which goes through the eye twice. Now, I've got 2 knots there that are stronger than the original Jack's Knot, and actually stronger than the trilene knot or the Fishing Fool knot. So which knot do I use the most? I still use the Jack's Knot the most because I want to get the knot tied quickly, and it's strong enough to do the job. And so that's the one I use the most. And again, it's good in 2-pound tests, 20-pound tests, fluorocarbon line, or other line. But let's say if I wanted to tie onto a tippet ring or something, I might tie the 2.0 going through the tippet ring twice because I don't want it breaking there. Or I might use 3.0 occasionally. But I just thought I'd put some information out there, clear up a few things about my knot. So I hope you got something from that, and let's take that information and use it if you want to, and if you don't, that's okay as well. But let's all go out and catch some fish today.